Hi, everyone, and welcome to this episode of the Global Exclusive Podcast. I'm Muspel, and this week I'm joined by Barrows and nobody else, unfortunately. I'm just stuck in a room alone with Barrows, and
We all know how this
it's
is gonna
it's
end.
it's everything I never wanted. But we're gonna take some time to really reflect on the new unit.
And each other.
God damn it, I was making a pun.
Yeah, Vivi, reflect. I got it. Only thing I was thinking of was my reflection in your beautiful eyes. Okay, that was what I was thinking of.
Uh, we can start by talking about Vivi's vision card. He has one of those, right?
Oh, wait, so hold on. But by you wanting to start with Vivi, are you saying that Vivi is the least interesting unit on the banner?
Sure. Yes. Vivi is less in. Well, I don't know. Neither of them are very interesting.
I mean, they're kind of the same unit, but in two units, right?
Yeah,
Or,
maybe.
yeah, you know what I
I
mean.
mean, Steiner has other uses. Not great ones, but he has other uses.
True, true,
But
true.
yeah.
But okay, sure. So vision card. You were saying something about it?
Yeah, so this is something that I think made more sense in JP. Uh, so Vivi has the same vision card as Zidane, which means that it is an attack-based vision card with dagger passives on it, which is
Right.
obviously useless to a mage. In JP, you don't get vision cards for the specific unit unless you awaken them to EX3. Instead, whenever you summon an NV unit, you get a random card, and that can include unit-specific cards, unlike in GL.
Hold on, didn't they
So,
change that recently?
I
Or
don't
maybe they
know.
didn't.
I
I
honestly
have
have no idea.
I have a feeling someone said in JP that they don't do the whole or that there is another way to get a maybe I was just dreaming. But yeah, you're right that so far in JP you're not really getting the vision card connected to the unit as we have in GL. So in
Yeah.
GL this feels really fucking weird.
Yeah, like, for veteran players, it's not that big a deal because they probably already have a good mage card. For new players, it's gonna suck. Like, if Vivi is their only damage dealer, then, I mean,
Yeah,
they're already in trouble if Vivi is their only damage dealer because he's kind of clunky, but,
exactly. I wouldn't recommend
yeah.
Vivi to a new player at all,
Yeah.
like even
So,
closely.
we should probably talk about, like, why he's clunky. So, Vivi
Yeah.
is very focused on using Reflect as a mechanic. And this is, like, Reflect used to matter a little bit, like, way back in the day before chaining. People would, like, use it with Thundadger or whatever as a finisher on some
Mm.
fights, but it was never that big a deal. Vivi has a passive that makes that whenever he hits with a reflected spell, it does more damage, and it can self-chain, like a tag chain.
Yeah, exactly. It even spark chains because like there are several hits hitting on the same frame. I think Dream said.
Yeah, so if you have a party of 6 and you cast an AoE spell on your party, that's 6 casts reflected back at the enemy, and then they all do 20% more damage, so it's like 7.2x the spell's normal damage. Now, the
Yeah.
problem with this is that you need multiple stacks of AoE reflect to really make it work. And
Right,
there's
because
not.
Vivi has up to a quad cast, right? So if
Yeah,
you want to reflect, hopefully all four, right, to do maximum damage.
yeah. So the only unit that has 4 stacks of AoE reflect is Loyal Knight Steiner, who's the other unit on this banner. We'll talk about him more later, but it's on his LB.
Mm.
So if you and his LB is not cheap, like it's 48 crystals, so it's going to be difficult for him to spam it that often. Um, so you have to like really gear him for LB fill if you want to use him as support for Vivi. Now
Yeah,
Vivi does do like almost twice as much damage as current mages, but he's since you have to bring Steiner for him, he's basically taking up 2 unit slots to do that damage.
yeah,
So
because
in
Steiner
practice,
really is not going to bring you anything else other than being an LB bot for Vivi or reflect bot
yeah,
for Vivi.
yeah, Steiner can be a tank, but not when he's geared for LB fill like he has to do for this.
Exactly.
So
So
yeah, in practice, I would say that VP does a little bit less damage than the current top mages.
right, right. And I mean, there's always the case for not having to bring a friend if you have Vivi and Steiner both, because you can actually do, I guess, decent damage, right? As you said,
Yeah,
Vivi
yeah.
himself does twice as
Unlike,
much as our mages, but alone
yeah,
he does as much as our mages, so there's
like
that.
usually when you're using a chainer, you want to bring a friend dupe, and it's a pain to find somebody that's geared for the right trial with like the
Right.
right killers and all that. In this case, because Steiner is contributing no damage, it doesn't matter if you bring 2 of your own damage healers. You can bring a friend support unit or something. Like you still have to find the right support unit or healer or tank or whatever, but that's possibly easier than finding a properly geared damage you with the right killers.
Oh my god, Muspel, my brain just exploded. I need to tell you something. What wouldn't it be awesomely cool for Reflect as a mechanic if it used the killers of the unit you originally targeted for?
That would be fucking awful, because then you would have to gear your whole party for killers.
No, not like that. So if Vivi is targeting a party of humans, his spells get multiplied by human killers instead of whatever the fuck the boss is, right? So that would be an interesting thing. Although I guess like 99% of the units in the game are actually humans, right? Like there's Behemi, maybe.
There's a few others, but yeah, most of them are humans.
Would be interesting, because I mean, he is originally casting the spell on, the reflected people. So the killers should count towards who he is casting on, not who it's getting reflected onto, right? Logically.
Yeah. Another thing that I want to mention, I don't think this really comes up on any recent trials, but hypothetically it could matter at some point, is that because he's hitting 6 times with each cast, that means that if you're fighting an enemy that has unlimited counters, like the second wave of Mad Doll, he will get absolutely fucked.
Oh,
if
yeah.
the enemy gets a turn afterwards. Like,
because he actually hits... Wait, he technically hits her 24 times then, right? No.
Assuming you have a party of 6, yes.
He does, right? Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah. Oh, shit.
So that's been a thing on like one trial ever, and it's a very old trial at this point. But if we ever get like Mad Doll Extreme, it could come up again, I guess. Who knows? One other thing is that if it's a battle where you're using a party of 5 for a mission or something, he does less damage because there's fewer allies to reflect off of.
And I also noticed, Muspel, that he can give abilities to party members, right? It seems like he has threefold Thundaga Blade, Blizzaga Blade, and Firaga Blade infusion. And it seems like they both imbue your entire party, increase the damage.
I wouldn't say... Oh yeah, sorry, it doesn't imbue.
No, it imbues and it increases the elemental damage, although fire is 30% and ice and lightning are 15 each. And then it gives them an ability to all allies called the threefold Firaga Blade, right?
Yeah, or Thundaga or whatever the other.
Yeah, exactly.
Is.
So my question is here, I don't know this, but would Vivi be able to triple cast that in his case? I know that other units can, because it's just a magic spell, right? So they can just use it once. I mean, it won't even dual wield, I think. I'm pretty sure someone told me this, that actually whatever you're granted won't even dual wield. But while you're checking, is the question I have is, what can Vivi triple cast these? Because like they have really strong mods, so I'm gonna guess no, because that would be really strong.
I can't. It doesn't say on the wiki, and I cannot tell from the Discord bot. Maybe there's a way to figure it out, but.
Or at least that's what I heard. I heard that you can't dual wield these. I could be misremembering.
They don't look that strong because they're hybrid.
Oh, they're hybrid. I missed that part.
Unfortunately, that means they're probably shit, because like 120x looks strong until you realize it's
half
hybrid.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Although he could use that attack card and get some pretty impressive attack by using like a, oh wait, he can't equip daggers.
Yeah, he can't equip daggers. Is there an equip? Yeah, there's an equipped small swords. Penello's TMR, right? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Just we're getting some real meta shit here.
Yeah. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah. Also, I guess we should say something about his LB. His LB buffs him infinitely. Like his modifier bit, for all of his magic. I don't know if that's really relevant. I mean, I guess it's stronger to reflect as well, right?
Yeah, since he's casting so many times effectively, it's bigger than you think. And since his modifier is so low to begin with, adding 5x or 10x is a bigger deal in terms of like percentage damage increase. But it's still, the problem is that his LB is so expensive. It costs 80 crystals, and he doesn't
Holy
have
shit,
great ways to
80
fill.
crystals. That's so much.
It's Alan. What do you expect?
I mean, you look like if you're using Vivi for DV, and I guess we're going to talk a bit about his DV use, but if you're using him for DV, you definitely need to entrust him, because like you're not going to be filling 80 crystals.
Yeah, one other thing I want to mention is that his base form LB, which has a 10x modifier boost for all of his magic, is it deals dark damage to all units, including your own team. So if you're
Right,
going
just
to
like
use that,
classic Vivi.
yeah, if you're going to use that, your whole team needs dark resist.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he will just fucking murder them.
Yeah, it's interesting how modifiers and abilities are so strong in comparison to the unit's stats, if you know what I mean. I mean, that's why Arena has to have the whole cap at 999
I feel like that's
damage.
pretty common in games for like bosses and enemies to have way more health than players, and as a result, players
True.
deal way more damage.
True. I guess. Yeah. Yeah. It's a shame that it is so, but I understand why. The boss needs to be healthier than your units. Otherwise, it just won't be fun, I guess.
Well, it doesn't
Um,
necessarily have to be. They could do it the other way around, just make it so that the boss does shit tons of damage, but has like crazy high defense and spirit or whatever. But for
yeah.
what I think it generally feels like more. I don't know what the right word is, but it feels it feels like it makes more sense when the boss is tougher and stronger, or is tougher and like you're dealing big damage numbers and not getting absolutely shit on every turn.
Mm. Yeah, yeah, I get it, I get it. So yeah, so the point is that even though like it's 130x modifier, it's gonna kill your team. Like trust me.
Oh
So
yeah,
you need dark damage. That's the thing because VV stats are so high. They're yeah, you're gonna die. Maybe I guess not a magic tank could obviously survive. I guess I
what the
don't
hell is with the frames on this on these
what
threefold skills that he has?
aren't they just AR? I thought someone said they are AR.
It's 30 hits. That is not AR frames. That I'm looking at
Wait,
it. Is
AR
that
is 30.
Is that triple cast SR frames?
Wait, wait, what do you mean?
AR is 30
AR?
hits, but it's not that frame spacing.
Oh yeah, because it's four, right? And what is the frame spacing of the blades?
110, 10, 10, 10, 10, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4, 6, 4.
Uh,
I think this is triple cast Stardust rate. Let me check.
triple cast, but triple cast SR
Yes,
should.
it
Okay.
looks almost pretty much identical to his triple cast
Ah, okay,
Stardust
okay.
Ray. So
Interesting. So you could, but that's good. That actually means that you could chain these. Like you can chain
as long as the
a
unit is single wielding, they could
yeah.
chain with a unit with SR. If they're dual wielding, then that would not work. I don't think.
But can
Um,
they be? Oh yeah, we couldn't check out if they could be dual wielded or not. I guess. Yeah, yeah, okay, okay. But we've only talked about his brave shift, or sorry, about his base form. What does Vivi have in his brave shift? Like, why do you
Nothing.
want it?
Another mod boost on his LB.
Well, also the quadcast, right? Because that's I guess the thing unique to the brave shift, right?
Oh yeah,
So like, if you want to do like, I wanted to bring it up because I think it's funny because Vivi is basically the same unit. I don't know if maybe the passes are a bit different, but I see that he has the same chain cap modifier, etc. But he just does more damage in Brave Shift because he has a quad cast compared to a triple cast, right?
yeah. One other thing that I guess we should maybe mention is that you technically don't have to use Steiner. Like you could use Beatrix. She has a 3-stack reflect, but that's single target, and it's only
Yeah.
3 stacks. So it's clunky because you have to apply it to everyone, and it's less damage. But Beatrix is like not an entirely useless unit, unlike Steiner. So
True. Can Zon copy reflect and spread it?
that is a very good question. I have absolutely no idea.
Because I'm thinking otherwise that could be a thing where, like Beatrix, as you said, she's not a worthless unit. She can actually tank. She could use one of her actions to give someone, reflect. And then Zon could have copied. But I'm just
I
making this
don't
up.
think he can. I don't see it listed on the wiki when I look at it.
Okay, yeah, I was just thinking if it's one of the like his survival copy, maybe. But yeah, maybe not. Probably not. I think someone would have already said this if he could. Because otherwise that
Yeah.
feels like an easy way to get at least 3-stack reflect on your entire team using Beatrix and Zon, but then you're wasting 2 units. Kind of.
Yeah.
Well, I guess Beatrix is not a waste, but Zon probably is.
And then TM and STMR. TM is kind of bad.
Well, it's one of the few shield and sword or shield and rod STMRs, right? Or materias.
Yeah, but the problem right now is that like there's no way to get a mage anywhere near the cap with that.
Right.
Like even Vivi doesn't have any innately.
Wait, he doesn't? Oh, okay.
No, he
That
just has
sucks.
TDH. Unless the wiki like changed their wording and that actually means true single wield.
But maybe in JP you could stack this, so you could like do 4 of these. Although I cannot see that being practical in any scenario.
Yeah,
But here's the thing we
and
should
you
be
would
talking
need more
about.
than 4 of it anyways.
Yeah, yeah. But what we should be talking about, obviously, is Vivi's hat, the new Big Dick EP magic hat.
Yeah, it has like 8 more magic than Ark's STMR, so
Which
it's
is
not,
huge.
yeah, it's not like a massive upgrade or anything. I would like, I think we say this basically every week. Don't pull for this STMR. It's not that big a deal. But
Hey, it
if
depends
you
on
get him,
just
it's
how
nice
much
to
EP
have.
means to you, though. You know, like, hey, maybe you just want to see your Luna Freya bust 7,000 magic or something. Although I'm not sure Luna Freya would be using this.
Yeah, I don't know.
She she'd probably be using
Rydia's whatever.
yeah, Rydia's SDMR, I think. But yeah, it's nice. It's nice. It's the strongest magic hat. At least if you pull Vivi, that's another bonus of it. And I still want to say, I think you said it too, Muspel. The mechanic is interesting. Like it's a new quirk where you need to reflect and then reflect the spell off of your team to get that 6 times multiplier, as well as Vivi's own innate 20% increase when it's reflected. And I think Sinzar mentioned this, but also these self-chain up to like a really high chain count. Is it like 280 or something like that on its own? So in DV, you're getting a max cap just by using Vivi. And since Vivi actually does damage, there are cases where you might be bringing Steiner to reflect for Vivi, because Vivi will then fix the chain cap mission on his own while doing damage.
Assuming I did my math properly, it would be 192 hits.
192. Okay, yeah, yeah.
I'm not opposed to the reflect thing. I just wish it didn't require Steiner. Like,
yeah, exactly.
I
wish Vivi had a method of
were
doing
more
it.
common, and you could like build a team around this that didn't involve a unit that was just complete dead weight. Then sure.
Yeah.
But as
exactly.
it is,
Like,
it just feels like it's Alum being idiots.
I mean, I could have seen like Vivi's Brave Shift having like a cooldown or something that at least did it, so that you could get like these big burst turns without using Steiner. Maybe on a long cooldown or something. Yeah. But okay, I guess like that's all there is to say about Vivi. Maybe we should be talking about Steiner then.
Yeah. So Steiner is a physical tank. Let's talk about the reflect stuff first, moving off of Vivi.
Sure.
So his LB gives 4 stacks of reflect to the party, as well as 75% avian mitigation. So if you're fighting a bird, he's like really good, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I guess all the
we have a couple of those though.
Hate birds.
Wait.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, Zedian has bird killers. Vivi has bird killers. Steiner has
that's actually...
bird mitigation. I don't know what Beatrix has actually.
Well, I mean, but in their defense, like all killers were available through gear for every unit eventually, right? I mean, you could learn the abilities. But
I think somebody said it was because the last boss of Final Fantasy 9 was like flying. So.
Oh, he was? Okay, I have forgotten that game.
I never played 9, so I can't.
Oh, you haven't? Okay.
That.
I have played it, but it was a long time ago. It's time for another replay, I feel.
So anyways, he's got the Reflect LB thing and some bird mitigation on it. And then he can also do, like, if he's serving as a partner for Vivi, there's not much else he can do. He has, like, a mitigation cooldown for the party, which is fine, I guess.
Yeah, but it's 1 turn shorter than its cooldown, as usual, so you don't have full uptime
so
on
that's not going to be super useful.
Yeah.
He could provoke, but that's not necessarily super useful either, because he might not have room for evasion gear.
Yeah. So
my
problem
doesn't have room for like HP gear with that much LB fill.
Yeah, and my problem with 7-star physical tanks is simply that the only 2 trials where physical tanks actually matter for their bulk are so overpowered that you're gonna need more than Steiner.
That's not necessarily true.
Really? Oh, this is interesting.
Steiner is unusually bulky for a 7-star tank. He's not on par with the Envy tanks, but like he has about 60% of the effective health of Bohemi.
That sounds very low. Like, I mean, Bohemi...
Well, for comparison, Galoof has like 12%.
Sure, but I mean, Asura is still hard hitting, right?
Yeah, Steiner is like 4 or 5 times tankier than the other 7-star tanks.
Okay.
So he's not going to tank these fights like without help, but it's at the point where if you like evoked Golem with some regularity and had him defend on other turns, you might be able to do it. I would not recommend doing this, but it might be possible.
Sounds like a challenge to Sinzar to do an Asura Steiner clear. Although nobody likes Steiner, so I don't know why anyone would ever want to use this unit, because he's so unlikable in the original game. I said this as well in the previous podcast, and yeah, it's like there's no nostalgia and love for this unit. Honestly, I don't know, but I guess that one thing to say about him is that if you haven't cleared a ton of old content, I guess this is a perfect 7-star tank for you to not do cheesy evasion strats, right? Because like if he's this bulky, then he's probably going to be able to tank whatever we used evasion strats for back in the day.
Yeah, I also want to mention that if you're using him as a tank and not as like a reflect bot for Vivi, he has a skill that costs his LB gauge, well, most of his LB gauge, and fills 40 crystals to all allies. So it costs him 40 crystals and it gives 40 to everybody else on the team. So
which is actually
like
really
AoE
good.
Interest. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, so again, it does cost his bar, right? So it's not something you can easily do turn 1 or something. But
yeah, it costs almost all his bar, because his LB bar maxes at 48 or 77 if you don't level it up. Honestly, if you're using him as a tank and not as a partner for Vivi, I might consider not maxing his LB, because that way you can like store up more crystals past the cost of it.
I mean, that's an interesting point, but it's also on a 4-turn cooldown, so well,
yeah,
although yeah. But it's good. I mean, it's good. It's just that you're not going to be using that on turn 1, so it's not like, I don't know, someone like Realm or Eurasia that can really, turn 1 give you a huge AoE and trust. But it's not terrible, obviously, especially when you're pairing it with Vivi and you're trying to enable some LBs in your DV run. I mean, Steiner can actually have a role as a DV partner for Vivi just because, thanks to this entrust, because that's something that you might need in your comp anyway.
Yeah.
But aside from that, he really has nothing. So when you're bringing him to DV, like, that's it. He can do nothing else.
Yeah, like he has 70% breaks, but you're not using those these days.
Yeah, definitely not.
His TM is actually really fucking good, though.
Yeah, I said this on the Newsday podcast. Like, what the fuck? His TM and STMR beat Behemi's TM and STMR. Isn't that stupid?
Not quite. His TM is
close.
basically a worse version of Behemi's STMR.
But it has
STMR works with anything, and this one is 100% equipment defense when single wielding or using a shield with great swords only.
Right. But it's still... I mean, it still has the 100% equipment defense, which is really good. So that part it still has, or it shares with Behemi. Sure, Behemi also has, like as you said, less restrictions, but and also more, or it also has defense on it, defense percentage, right? Right.
Yeah. So this is like, it's not good for Gabranth and it's not good for Snow, because Gabranth dual wields and Snow can't use great swords, at least not normally. But for Behemi or for
Steiner
Gladio,
himself, I guess.
Yeah, or Steiner himself, this is a very strong item. Or if or when we get future physical tanks that use shields, it'll probably be good for them, unless they have like weirdly shitty equipment selections like Snow.
Yeah. And then his STMR is again a straight up upgrade to Behemi's. I mean, I remember all of us being...
I wouldn't quite say a straight upgrade.
Okay. Well, sure, Behemi has the passives thing going on, but yeah.
Yeah, so this has 180 defense, 50% ice resist, and 50% lightning resist.
Right.
So
and just for comparison, what does Behemi's have?
130 defense.
Right.
And then if you were there for the event and you got the upgrade, then it also has 30% HP in defense.
Right.
And I also want to mention that Steiner's STMR has a passive that's for Steiner only that gives 1600 flat HP. Like, not equipment HP, but like an HP passive,
exactly.
Or whatever.
But that's the thing, like, it's actually, I mean, flat defense is so important nowadays because of all the, because it is being multiplied by equipment defense. So I think that it's pretty huge that it actually has so much more flat defense on it compared to Behemi's TMR.
Depending on how much equipment defense percent you have, yes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you're maxing it, then this is big.
I'm not sure that you can max it. I don't know if there's any unit that can do that yet. I guess maybe if you have Bohemia's STMR and Steiner's, I don't know.
Yeah, I still think you can't max maybe, but still, Vivi and Steiner's STMR. So the reason why I pulled on Vivi Banner twice, I got no Vivi obviously because I don't get on Banner NVs or on Banner Rainbows. It turns out, because I got like 8 rainbows and not a single of them was Steiner. But I pulled twice because I need 2 coins to buy Steiner because his TMR is really good. Again, like I want that, and I might even
I might
STMR
UOC him
Google him.
for it.
Yeah. So strong.
Which is a big deal because I haven't UOC'd anybody in like 6 months.
Yeah, so like you're actually a billionaire and you just don't want to use your dollars. And that's, that creeps me out a bit, not gonna lie, because I have like 16 UOCs. I keep using these faithfully.
How many STMR Moogles do you have?
I think I have enough for 5 or 6 units. I think.
Get on my level. I think I'm at like 17 or 18.
What the? Okay. You're not. Okay. I just want to judge you here. I need to judge you a bit and say you're not having fun.
I know I have 1,400 STMR tickets. Then I have some number of STMR Moogles. I don't remember how many of them are 15 or 50% or like unit specific. But when I look at the thing in the vortex, it says I have 10. I think one of those is Alhaina's STMR Moogle because I never awakened him to 7-star. And then at least 2 of those are 50%. It might be 4 of them.
Wow.
So I probably have like 19 to 21 STMR Moogles.
Holy shit. Well, I mean, I have been using mine. I just enjoy it. It's nice to get some STMRs. I remember I lost like 2 full Moogles when I got Terra because I didn't have Luna Freya's STMR or Unalesca's, but I had the units. So I could, STMR Moogle them to get that best in slot going. So that's kind of how I use them. I use them pretty freely. I might even use one on Steiner just to get his STMR and run it through Item World right now to get some really good passives on it.
Yeah, but overall, I feel like this banner is not great. Like, Steiner has a good TM and STMR, but is not great as a unit. Vivi is, like, fine, but he's janky, and honestly, the payoff is not that great. Like, even if you want to use him with Steiner, he's still just, like, worse than Shui Yu or whatever.
Yeah, I guess. Or at least harder to use, right? And yeah. Yeah, unfortunate. But again, still interesting. I like this. Gumi can keep doing, or Alim can keep experimenting with these niche interactions. But to be honest, I'd much rather have them interact in the way that they did more in the game. Of course, that would mean that Steiner would have to be the NV unit, where, Vivi would actually give him Firaga Blade, and then he would actually go ham. That would make more sense.
Vivi bugs me a lot less than Zidane, because Zidane was an experiment where, like, they did this weird-ass thing, and it was really awkward to use, and even when you did it right, it was like you had to jump through a billion hoops for a payoff that wasn't that impressive. With Vivi, you have to jump through some hoops, but they tuned it appropriately. Like, the damage is fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's still strong.
Zidane does have the high burst, but it's so much work for not that much more burst than Noctis.
Yeah, exactly. It depends on just, like Zidane is really the DV unit, although I still feel that Zidane came out at a weird time because we know we're expecting other units like Hawkeye and so on. So, then having Zidane,
I don't know that I'm expecting Hawkeye. I still don't think we're getting that banner.
Yeah, maybe not. Maybe our next big power creep should then be what, like Sephiroth and Tifa? Is that it? Well, I guess we don't know what some of the GL exclusive unit design contest units are going to do, though. That might be a way for, Gumi to level out the par curve a bit.
Do wonder if or when we'll see NVAs for some of the GLX units.
Would be nice.
There's a bunch of them at this point.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's all for the banners, right? We didn't miss anything?
I don't think so, no. So now there's just the new trial.
Right, Amon. So should we be honest, Muspel? Like, none of us have actually done the trial.
Yeah, why is he wearing high heels?
Wait, he's wearing high heels? I missed this.
Look at his sprite.
I was talking about his sprite on the Newsday podcast, but I missed... Okay, hold on. I need to open the wiki, and I need to look at his fucking high heels.
His sprite is not on the wiki. You have to find, like, the news post or open up the news in-game or something.
Oh, God. Okay. Hold on, I'm gonna use the bot. But okay, I like we talked about this, like that he's kind of just a reskin of what is his face? Not Heinz, but something similar, right?
The mage. No, it was
Hein. Yeah. I said it as in the ketchup name.
Hang on, I'll PM you a picture.
Oof, Muspel is sliding into my DMs. This night is turning out the way I was hoping it's gonna turn out. Oh yeah, there we see. Yeah, he has kind of some
Like
high heel.
they're probably supposed to be boots, but those are not boots. Those are high heels.
Yeah, they are a bit. Yeah, they're a bit too high to be. I mean, they're high heel boots, right? And I guess, yeah, I see what you're saying. They're very thin. So
Yeah.
I mean, hey, you know what? Good for him.
Those are stiletto heels.
Yeah, they're still, and you know what? Good for him. Good for him to express himself like this. He should do that. He's just such a huge dick as a trial boss, though, as I understand it. Again, I haven't done it yet.
Yeah, I haven't either. So Amon is actually kind of interesting because we've talked about this in the past, how we've wanted to see fights where like you took damage and it was threatening, and you couldn't just instantly heal it back.
Right.
And Amon accomplishes this by making it so that you cannot heal. By which I mean he applies zombie to your entire team every single turn.
And then he pummels you with white magic. Yeah, he applies zombie every turn. You cannot, like, he applies it before he does his white magic. So any, removal you have is not going to help you to not take damage. So what he does is he applies zombie, and then he casts 3 spells on you. 3 white magic spells on your team. That's either Kuraja, Full Life, or a regen. Now the regen and full life are single target, and I think both are provocable, but full life kills, right? And regen ticks for like 1,000,000 per turn, so that also kills if you let it tick. So you need to dispel that. Whereas Kuraja is a flat percent heal, so this is not standard Kuraja, and I think it's like 5 to 7% or something like that. So that's kind of the attrition of it. Like every Kuraja is going to hit your team for 5 to 7% of their max health.
Yeah, you can reflect it.
You can reflect it, but also it's random. Yeah, you shouldn't, but it's also random. That's a good thing to notice, is that he's not going to hit you with 1 regen, 1 full life, 1 Kuraja. It's RNG. Like he can hit you with 3 Kurajas or 3 full lives and really ruin your day if he wants to. But yeah, so what happens if you reflect it, Muspel?
I imagine it would heal him.
It does, for 5 to 7% max health. So
yeah.
I think Sinzar said that the only unit that we can look forward to that can kill him through the healing, so if you want to do reflex strats, is Hawkeye. So unless like you're not going to be doing the turn mission if you're reflecting. And I think that in general, it's not even about the turn mission. I think that you're just not going to be able to beat that healing because he is tanky. So you probably don't want to reflect. You probably want to use Nethicite because it's white magic, so you can't seal it. And as I understand it, you can either seal it by having 3 different units using a separate Nethicite ability, or you can actually use Dethroned Ash, our new Ash unit, the newest Ash unit, I guess. She actually has an ability that is a 3-stack Nethicite in itself. So Ash kind of, I'm not going to say trivializes, I guess. It sounds, then I make it sound too easy, but she makes this trial much, much easier by just adding Ash to your team. Because
I didn't realize she had that.
Yeah, she has, and she's gonna suck up 3 of the spells. He does 4 spells on a threshold. The 4th spell is death, but apart from the white magic niche or the white magic gimmick that Amon has, the only other thing he does is, as I understand it, elemental damage, like AoE elemental damage and non-elemental damage, which your magic tank is going to be able to tank easily. Or, again, easily. I haven't done it myself, but it sounds like it was easy. Man, we should have had Dream here. I think he did it like on day 1. He was struggling with the trial, even though he was supposed to finish a school project. But I don't know if he ever finished it. I don't know if he ever did.
One other thing I want to mention is that you're going to want to Petrify resist on your whole team, because at the 50% threshold, he dispels your whole team and then does Petrify. So an immunity buff will not work. So
exactly. And he does this first, and though I was actually super scared when Sinzar said this, I'm like, okay, so he's going to dispel my tank too. But apparently, as long as a turn started with cover activated, the tank has cover, even though he is dispelled. So
I think he does it at the end. It's on the wiki page says after normal actions he does this.
Oh, okay. Then never mind. I thought it was the opposite. But never mind. It's at least, as you said, you definitely need Petrify Resist for, at least one unit so they can heal the rest of your team. That's about it.
A few other things is that he constantly cycles through elemental weaknesses on himself. He's immune to everything by default,
Right.
300% resist. For the first few turns, he's vulnerable to fire, then water, then wind, and then earth for only one turn. And then he goes back into the cycle. So 3 turns of vulnerability to fire, then water, then wind.
Man, if we only had a unit that could imbue your entire team with these elements, but also remove the imbue you had for the other element. That would be so good. Man, that would be so good. So yeah, the joke is we have this unit. It's Elric Bros. It feels like very well-timed release for the Elric Bros.
Yeah, I don't think Amon is like a great trial. It's still pretty lacking in terms of like really making you interact with healing, but I do think it shows that somebody at Alim like had a brain and was thinking about like how do we make a fight that isn't trivialized by healing,
right?
Where damage matters. So I really hope that at some point they do something more with this. Like I would be really interested to see what the EXT version of this looks like a year down the line or whatever.
Right. I mean, I'm still much more excited about the potential morale battles where you actually can debuff healing instead, which is, I mean, I still think this is cool. The zombie thing is cool because he's actually forcing you to not heal. So Sinzar mentioned this one thing, and I think we should mention it here too. So there's a way to prolong this fight indefinitely. So since Amon's magic that he does on your magic tank is trivial, the only thing that's actually killing you is attrition by the Kuraja, right? Because like he's wearing you down with Kuraja if you're not nethersiding it, right?
The Kuraja or the non-elemental magic AoE starts using below 50%.
Yeah, but here's the thing: Fina and VA can actually remove zombie, and it's on a cooldown, but the cooldown is short enough to be able to reset the fight. So what you do is you cure the zombie, and then you just heal your team AoE. And then you're basically back at 0, and you can keep doing the attrition thing and just kill him, whittle them down. So that's something you can do if you're going for the no reflect or Nethicite run. However, that's going to be really tough because like the full life is still going to wreck you. So, good luck to anyone trying that.
Kalmia can also cure zombie, although I think she's a much worse choice here because all of her heals are AoE and her zombie cure is single target.
Right.
So she cannot cure one ally and heal them without killing the entire party.
Exactly. Yeah. I guess though, like if you're going for the attrition strat, I guess you could still put like reflect ring on your provoker, and luck out so that he doesn't use 2 full lives in a row. Because then you're gonna be reflecting a full life, and you might eat something else. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's a stupid idea. It was just something I thought of. It's interesting. It's interesting that they tried to design a trial around attrition at least. So that's good. I am looking forward to doing this trial. I've just had a crazy week and no time to actually play FFBE. Well, obviously, aside from, doing all the dailies, obviously I do that. That's my religious ritual I do every day to feel good. But I didn't actually do any content this week.
One last thing I want to mention with this fight is that some tanks have like counters or whatever that heal them. And you want to be careful of that on this fight. So like Snow or Bohemi will counter attacks with percent-based max health heals, which will actually hurt them in this case. So they're not a great choice for this fight.
That's true. Wait, does Snow do that in Magic Tank mode as well?
Yes.
Ah, he does. Okay.
Yeah, if he has enough resist, he won't counter the elemental AoEs, but he would counter the non-elemental ones.
Right. And kill himself, probably.
Yeah, it's 5% health per counter, and you can counter up to 5 times per turn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so, that's significant. That is significant because you can't heal him in any other way. So that's
less bad for Bohemi, but Bohemi is not a magic tank, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I think that's all the content for this week, right?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah. So Muspel, what wine do you like? Like, do you have some favorite wine?
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week.